Jim, I'm noticing a quality that you and I have lately, and it's something that maybe we were born with. I don't know, but I want to identify, put a word to that quality, and also help others recognize it within themselves. So here's an example. I went to college, got a degree in teaching, and then and also got a degree in art, and the specialty was textile sculpture, which was very useful. Very useful. Yeah. And so I decided after I graduated that I actually wanted to become a graphic designer, which I had no experience with. I wanted to work in an office, design labels, advertising, that kind of thing. No experience. So what I did is I created a completely fake portfolio, and I created a fake resume listing experience I hadn't had. And I walked into the interview and I got the job. And I soon became the art director with no experience doing what I was hired to do, and I was successful. And so that's something. There's a ability there. And you have examples of doing that. We both have.
Sure, sure. So in my case, it was, staying out of college for a year, working at Ford Motor Company, building truck axles, and having an amazing aha in life. This is not what I'm about, really. And so it became, how do you, with no money, go and get a college education? And the only opportunity at that level was California, basically free college. So, but I lived in New Jersey. How do you get to California? Well, it's obvious. You stick out your thumb and you hitchhike to California. Something you can't do today.
Yeah.
There's no freedom to do that same experience. But in my case, it was an adventure. It was not only the only way to do it, it was the only way to do it. It was like, yes, you have to do this. But same thing with your example. It's I think, you know you can do something, you want to do it, you have the passion to do it, and you don't have a doubt about doing it.
Yeah, there was no doubt.
See, in people would say, well, what about, you might get hurt, you might. Yeah, okay. But never sunk in. It was not part of the reality. Just like not getting the job, not having the experience, sounds like wasn't part of your reality.
It was, I knew I was going to be successful.
But what happens to people when they get confronted with the no you can't?
Yeah.
And then they let the no you can't get in the way of the yes I can.
So for both of us, there was a passion. I am passionate to do this thing, even though I have no clue how to do it. I have this passion. But then there's also a little spark that says, yes, I can.
Yeah, and I think it's a yes I can that people get talked out of their yes I can. And so we could attribute this to youth, and you could have failure in the process. I had another job where I was working in a cannery, and they said, have you ever driven a forklift? Yes, I have. No, I hadn't. Yes, I have. And so basically 2 days into it, dropped 2,000 cans, empty cans. And it was like, I didn't have the reality of saying, well, I don't know what I'm doing. It was just like, all right, we can fix this. So I think people can have failure or challenge, but it's that drive, that yes, I can.
I don't think it's just youth, though.
It's not just youth. No, I think, in fact, why we're having the conversation is how many people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s have had an adventure, passion, like we're talking about, and stepped into their passion and experienced their passion. And now it may have been successful, it may not have been successful, but let's just assume successful. But what happens is we make it our experience, and we don't continue. I watch many people having the next adventure and the next adventure.
We make that passion be the end point.
The end point.
Once I've achieved this, there's nothing else for me to do.
Sure.
I don't have a next passion.
To people our age, think back in the 60s, 70s, for a woman, the whole upbringing was get married. And so you get all passionate about getting married, you get married. Then what? Yeah, and so so the restriction, today there's both more restriction in some ways and less restrictions in others. And you watch younger people, younger 30, 40, 50, again, that whole age group, and the times are changing. And that opportunity to, yes, and on one hand is getting restricted, but on the other hand, it's really what we're talking about is an inside passion, not an external passion.
So nowadays, you can't hitchhike from New Jersey to California. I can't fake a portfolio with all the digital things going on.
Right.
That's on one hand a limitation, and the yes I can is found other places.
Correct.
So maybe the yes I can is found in the Women's March, or someone who's never written a postcard to a representative. Yes, I can do this.
Correct. So there's a passion being generated inside the limitations the external world's creating. So whether you're building walls and creating limitations and saying you can't come here, figuratively and literally, whatever all that means, those restrictions here are real, but in proverbial, the tighter the fist gets, the more room there is for things to squeak through the seams. And watching that Women's March earlier this year, you saw a lot of people who never have gone to the streets.
Right.
You know, and for a lot of older people, remember back into the end of the 60s and the beginning of the 70s, and 4 kids got shot at Kent State, and the whole country exploded into the streets. People who would never do anything like that went into this is not acceptable.
Yeah.
And that this is not acceptable is very much building underneath, not in a violence, but in a sense of there is a better way. There is a way that allows freedom and the yes I can and the permission to hitchhike across the country again without any restrictions, without having to worry about type of thing, or flying into a country without having to worry about. There is a tremendous yes I can underneath it. So in today's world, what is your yes I can? What is your I need to do this, no matter what age you are? What is it you really want that you've said I can't do? That yes you can, yes I can. What is that space? It might be, I've always wanted to go to Paris. Well, go to Paris. Oh, I can't do it today. I don't have enough money and I've got kids. That's correct. How about in 2 years you give to yourself? You basically put a little bit of money aside. You basically read some travel books. You go and get real excited about the art galleries. Whatever the thing is passion that pushes you, what is that? Yes, I can. And give to yourself. Well, I'm married. Well, I understand that. We're married, and Roxane just goes to Belize for 3 months and sits there by herself on a beach and writes a book. Well, no, you can't. We're married. That's not okay. What about me?
Yeah, a lot of people had a problem with that.
Yes, but the reality is you are an individual having an experience. In this relationship, you are an individual single bubble, a me bubble, having a relationship with a we space. And I have a me bubble. So there are no restrictions. It's yes, I can.
Yes, I can.
But the settling for and the external limitations, this is what you do in a marriage, this is what you do in a job, this is what you do, is really external limitations. So where is that passion? And the underlying structure of the world today is freedom. And it's an explosive freedom that is occurring but hasn't been visible yet. But if you just stop looking at the noise and the media and all the fear that's being created, what's being made available underneath is extraordinary, and it's filled with yes I can.
Yeah. Exciting.
Very exciting. Very exciting. So when are you going to Belize again? Yes, I can.
Yes.